can you share a little bit more about your role as a community manager and how you transitioned from like the sales development department into your current position?
Yeah, I had not heard of the title community manager until it was presented to me
Oh,
March a year and a half ago. So, however that timing lines up. I'm 2 years at Defendify actually this month. So, I've been here 2 years.
perhaps.
Prior to my cybersecurity journey, I was a fundraiser that rose up to an executive director. So I was a nonprofit leader and I worked in
Okay.
politics. I taught women to run for office. Before COVID, we had an in person training program that I was the executive director of. It was 70 hours, and you'd have to drive to wherever I'd book a classroom, and people would have to drive, and they would have to do that for 8 weekends. And it was a total of a 70-hour program.
Wow.
I had been on the board and I was the executive director for 1 year at the time that COVID shut everything down. And you lived through it too. So we all thought it was going to be short term. And so basically I had a board that was tiring and leaving. And if it hadn't been for COVID, I would have been spending the year building a new board. Instead, I was building a new board and trying to figure out how to get our training program online. And that's where cybersecurity as an interest started because we wanted to share it. We wanted people to get involved in their communities and run for office, right? That's what we wanted. We wanted more people to step up. So at first, we wanted to put everything out in the open so that people could utilize it instead of bringing people in because I had to figure out how to make it into bite-sized pieces. I had to figure out how to make it more digestible. I also had to know about the public speaking training. I also had to know about the
Oh,
campaign. And I had to
software.
understand it so that I could have a bird's eye view on how to supplement long speaking trainings. And I ended up designing an app
That's
that would
so cool.
go through the program with you. But I had none of the background in that. I was an event planner that ran a nonprofit. I had no background in this. Like I jumped into tech accidentally. And I think that happens to a lot of people. But
Yeah, true.
that was my story. COVID happened and everything suddenly had to not only become online and accessible, but not too accessible, but also interesting, but not boring. But I also didn't have tech. I didn't know how to edit a video, none of that. I
Cool.
wasn't aware of any of that. I found the first one I did was just a Google cybersecurity certificate because we were using Google. That one made sense. I think I had to listen to it 3 times. It was difficult to grasp. I didn't have someone teaching me. I was having to learn it to do it. So I think you have to listen and then you have to listen again and go through the steps. I ended up doing it a third time so I could get the certification, but originally I was just looking at YouTube videos that were free. That was the initial start. And then in 2020, Governor Gretchen Whitmer, she was a female governor in Michigan, had a kidnapping attempt. And it was on the news one morning. And
Oh,
I was training Democratic women to run for office. Lists of all the Democratic women I had trained in Maine. If anybody wanted to kidnap any of my ladies that I've trained, there's a clean list with their names and addresses. It's available. So I realized all of our data was everywhere. It was out there, names and addresses of everybody that we had ever trained was available. And I started to look really hard on how we shut that data down. Every board member had that list. So if any of them had gotten hacked, every person who went through the program, I trained over 200 women in the 5 years. You're telling me all of them had perfect cybersecurity practices. So I had done the Google cybersecurity certificate, which was very distressing because I realized, holy cow, nobody even knows how not protected we are. Nobody even knows. So I started to initiate some programs at the state level. It was like two-factor authentication. It was password management. Like I'm not talking big
save
stuff,
you.
really basic stuff. Brought that up to national, and then all the others, there's 26 states, they all incorporated it. And so now I had a little pocket of cybersecurity work that
Mhm.
gave me just enough to start looking at cybersecurity jobs. And that's where I found Defendify. That's the gap. So that's where I'm at now.
It's a huge gap, and I feel like you're very adaptable, and that has brought you a lot of opportunities and success because not only do you have like a radiant personality, but you're also willing to go out on your own and learn and really work your way into a whole new role that was literally perfect for you with your background in politics and what you were doing and everything that you had to teach yourself. in order to get these skills and still continue to develop those skills while in your sales role, getting certified and all of these different things. So I have no doubt in my heart that you're gonna absolutely get this new defense contract. I know that there's special regulations and things like that.
Yeah.
And so why do you think that cybersecurity is like a must-have instead of a nice to have, now that you've been through all of this journey?
Maybe it takes something scary for people to realize it's a must-have. I grew up on the online. I had AOL chat rooms way too young. I was always online. I had a MySpace. I had a live journal. I had online journals through high school where I typed my feelings and posted them online. So my attitude was always, do I really need cybersecurity? I know my data's out there. It's out there with everyone else's data. Why would they pick on me? Who cares? My only cybersecurity defense was in college. I would lose my debit card. Now I post about freezing my credit, but like I did that. I had those accounts locked because I would lose my debit card all the time because I was like flighty. You know what I mean?
Your wallet, you just put it on your
In your
pocket.
car, or you leave it at a bar to pay a tab, and then in your 20s maybe you like drink too much and you don't
I,
remember
I had to do the same thing. I was like, oh, I lost my passport once and my credit
it.
card was in there.
Now I have children. I don't lose things now. I have kids, like I can't lose them. Like I have a whole family. But you can't turn someone like that into a cybersecurity expert, because then you think back on all of your choices and you think,
Mm.
goodness, I did the most terrible things. But maybe that's what makes it relatable. I've learned this a little bit lately. Maybe if I'm open about the fact that I've been breached, because everybody got breached in Maine between the grocery store and the hospital, like everywhere I do business last 2 weeks ago got breached. It's no longer like, oh, who cares about Ashley? She's going to lose her debit card. I do actually have retirement accounts now. I do actually have bank accounts for my children. I do actually have a credit report that, I have to check, and I have great credit and I've earned that great credit. How do I mean that? I have a cousin that has a food truck, and I help him sometimes with his website and with different things. I'll help him because I have a little more of a business mind. The amount of interaction in his business, I'm not going to name it, but his business has been up for 5 years. So plenty of time for him to go. It's a food truck and he's making enough money to live and has been in articles, and like, it's coming up. Like it's coming up, and he didn't have a website. And then we're trying to set up a website, and you have to put a bank account on the website so that when you buy things, the money goes into an account. His bank account is still his personal account. And so then I make a separate bank account and I'm running the website. And then there's two-factor authentication. And I'm trying to get access to his Instagram, and his Instagram goes to an old iPad he doesn't have anymore. So he shuts off the two-factor authentication. He's not unique. He's just trying to survive a business.
So true. We
Yeah.
help my aunt with her dry cleaner, and it is a complete chaos. Like the passwords were all the same. We auto-generated the passwords and saved it, and she loses those passwords, and every single week it's like everything is so messed up. But you're so right. It's like every person out there is like this.
Defendify, if you put an inquiry on our website, someone has reached out to you in 5 minutes. We're a grown-up business. It's a grown-up business that I work for.
Yeah.
We are a cybersecurity business, so obviously we're going to be a little tighter, but we shouldn't be tighter. This should be the minimum. So just being in the two cultures of, hey man, like what do you mean you don't know that password? No, don't link it
Mhm.
to Facebook. Like hold on a second. Defendify, should we click on this link? I'm going to call you first to make sure I can click on the link. Completely
Connected with the right
different
person.
cultures. Yeah.
And
So
so, with AI evolving so much, what are some of the major industry trends when it comes to cybersecurity that you're seeing?
the few things that I've seen is that cyber attackers, criminal hackers, we have to specify that because there are ethical hackers. Criminal hackers are using AI to get stronger emails on phishing attempts. And we do this honestly from a marketing perspective. You can have an AI bot check your LinkedIn account, scan for information, and then I can tailor an email or an outreach based on what you post on LinkedIn or what you have. That looks really, really personalized. That already exists, not even in a sketchy way. Marketers and business people use that all the time. So AI can do that for the hacker side. So What do you need to do on the other side? Well, maybe you need higher tech and AI tech on the back end of the emails so that there's a banner that pops up and says, hey, this is from someone that is unknown to you. Do you really want to click on this link? So there's a technical component to that. But on the same side, there's also a human training component to just that, right? So one of the ways to counteract that, and you and I probably have done this, is you send an email in regular email format, Gmail or Outlook or whatever. And then you go into LinkedIn and say, hey, I just sent you an email with a link. Just wanted to let you know it's in your inbox, right? That's how we go around that now. But that takes a lot more work. You can't have AI do everything. The same token with the AI people and the criminal hackers, they're trying to attack everybody in a company, or they're trying to attack all the CEOs or all the HR directors. In that case, every time you put on LinkedIn that you're getting a new job or you've gotten a new job, now you can be a target for AI hackers that are trying to say, oh, she got a new job. This might be the time to ask her to get us Visa gift cards from the CFO. That's a phishing attempt, right? So, like, AI gets stronger, we have to get stronger. And then on the back end, on the IT perspective, using AI tools so that it can filter some of the reports that come in, or maybe some of the like incorrect flags. Like maybe there's a way that people aren't getting bombarded with alerts and the IT leaders aren't getting bombarded with alerts. There's got to be a way. We have to find a way to combat how criminal hackers are going to use AI, to how IT leaders are going to use AI, and how regular people in the middle are using AI. I can't put data specific to my company into any chat GPT, right? So we're learning as we go, which is always a dangerous thing, but we're learning as we go, and we have to be mindful in what we learn. We're going to make mistakes. There's going to end up being something that pops up, or we're going to get breached in this way or that way, but there has to be protections all around.
And now it was the dot-com bubble first, then the crypto. Now,
Mhm.
and with AI, you can truly build multi-million-dollar businesses in a matter of months. Yeah, it's super
Absolutely.
powerful, but it's about that like constant discovery. Because AI has evolved tremendously just in the past 6 months.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. The past 6 months, I feel like I've created a lot more intentional bots as well.
I really love like how you're experimenting and having fun with it, and just seeing what happens, because that will lead to like realizing how else can I translate this into something that will actually help my business. For example, you mentioned instead of having the IT department oversee all of these different tickets, you can easily integrate an AI agent as an IT support with a knowledge base so
Mhm.
that people ask FAQs and they get the answer immediately. And if it's something that needs to be escalated, you can use workflows and automations to notify the right person. But in reality, like the more experienced guy already knows that you're like regular people don't understand that. So you need to be able to simplify it in a way it makes sense to you. How has AI impacted your business growth strategy at Defendify?
At Defendify, I would say we're very cautious about how to use AI in a way that is thoughtful and security focused. So we're starting with like a non-trust capacity. Like we might be saying that incorrectly, but we assume nothing's safe. We're going into everything assuming nothing is safe. But also, we're a tech company. The marketing department has it a little easier than the tech folks. So, yeah,
Okay.
I'm in the marketing department technically. And in that dynamic, we have the opportunity to creating a webinar. So we're able to send out promotional emails ahead of the webinar. We're able to use AI to help us edit the webinar. We're able to use an AI program that takes the webinar content and creates clips for us. Yeah, I don't have to watch the whole thing and go, oh, I think I had a feeling there. That should be a clip, because that's how I used to do it. I'd be like, ooh, okay, maybe I could cut that. No, it cuts 20, sometimes 20 choices in an hour. And you can kind of go, oh, okay, I wouldn't have thought of that. That's nice how AI did that. So you have options there, and they make the little clips. It amplifies our work massively. A lot of times I'll look on online like Discord and Reddit, and if I don't understand something, or I think I might have a grasp of it, but I need a little bit of help to just make sure I understand it, I will put text into AI and be like, can you explain this to me? Can you reword it? That's been really helpful because I'm not an expert on every single aspect. Of course, I can Google, I can just type into Google, like, what is CMMC defense contract? Oh, so sometimes I'll use AI like, hey, so what are some complaints about it? What do people love about it? What do they post on Reddit about? What can you scrape the internet and let me know if there's been any changes during this administration?
It
And
does.
then you draft the questions, and sometimes you're like, is this a clear question? Like, does this read
Give me
right?
5 options.
Yeah, give me 5 options. And so then you collect them and you let the interviewer kind of see them and they're like, hey, I actually wrote a book. Can I bring that up? Yes. Let me kind of get a sense of how to work that into the conversation. So that's how we use AI in the marketing.
It has been a little bit frustrating in this journey.
What's working really well is we still have a calling program. We still have SDRs that are cold calling
Yep.
people. And
Mhm.
yeah, we still do. And I'm not 100% sure how that always works. It looks hard. Other than me doing it, we have folks that are pulling lists from different sources and making sure that targeting the right people. It's super easy when we have inbound leads, and that's what I focus on, right? I'm giving you a webinar, you're super interested in something we're talking about. You're like, hey, I want to learn more about Defendify. But I think it's a different approach when you're calling somebody, that wasn't thinking of Defendify. They're eating a sandwich, they're getting a phone call, and now you have to hook them and see if they're the right person. That's a whole different approach. That's much, much harder. So I do think there's some AI in trying to get those lists and navigate and make sure we're having the data that we can. Uh,
Yeah, no, that's super important. A lot of businesses have built AI agents to replace call centers for multiple,
yeah.
and I know that people want to talk to a person, like everybody feels that way. And it's getting so good that people can't even tell. And it can do the pre-qualifying within minutes and then schedule that follow-up call with an actual representative. So you're not wasting 8 hours a day just calling people that are not even interested. You can like have one AI agent call 10,000 people simultaneously and
Yeah.
then book all of those additional follow-up calls once they're pre-qualified into an actual person. So there's like multiple avenues that and you're not dealing with any sensitive,
SDRs would love that. Yeah. Imagine not having to do the calls until they actually get to you. That's amazing.
right?
I never
That's
got to
just
do that. I never.
right. It's super hard.
Yeah.
How
That's
many sales representatives would you say Defendify has in their department? Like just doing the call calling.
had, we've had like 5. I think
Five,
we've had up to 5.
and all of those work full time.
Yes. I'm thinking
So
4 now, and I'm feeling bad if I miss someone. That's why my brain's going,
I'm gonna put four, but 4 times 40 hours, that's
yeah,
160 hours a week. A
yeah,
month times four, you're spending 640 hours on payroll.
yeah. That's not where my decision is made, but yes, it does.
No, it's insane, right?
That's the other thing. Like I struggle with that because I'm like, they're people and their jobs. So like jobs are good. So I'm not the one that makes the
No,
decision.
no, no. I get it, but it's not about replacing those people. It's about like maybe placing them. Once you get the first initial call booked, then they can take over.
Do you have any other questions for me?
You're beyond amazing. I just want to thank you for your time. I love your personality and the way you really have adapted into multiple different roles and really created this whole like community manager like position for yourself. I cannot thank you enough, Ashley, for your time and for sharing all of your funny stories with me today.